Biblical texts function as a dense historical dataset, mapping specifically to the physical terrain of the ancient Levant. Geography provides the spatial dimension for this data, the physical playing board where these events occurred. History acts as the temporal dimension, tracking the specific succession of events across that physical board. The board itself, the ancient Levant, was defined by its position as the land between. The unyielding topography of this narrow strip shaped the cultural development and physical survival of ancient Israel. To analyze these historical events, we must first reconstruct the precise physical constraints of the terrain, from the bedrock up. This reconstruction relies on a multidisciplinary model, incorporating geology, meteorology, and archaeology. In the ancient world, the physical terrain strictly dictated the limits of human movement, political power, and daily survival. We begin by layering regional constraints onto a topographical map of the ancient Near East. To the southwest sits the first major power center, Egypt. Competing empires occupied Mesopotamia and Anatolia to the northeast. Territorial expansion required massive sources of fresh water, forcing ancient armies to move along major river systems like the Tigris and Euphrates. This movement was further restricted by impassable geographical barriers. The Mediterranean Sea formed a hard western boundary for land-based forces. To the east, the Great Arabian Desert served as a waterless, deadly barrier. These constraints funneled all military and trade traffic through a single narrow corridor. This turned ancient Israel and Aram into an unavoidable land bridge for any power attempting to move between Mesopotamia and Egypt. The Levant's position as a land bridge meant that for local populations, isolation was a geographical impossibility. Beyond these horizontal geopolitical pressures, the inhabitants were also subject to vertical meteorological forces. This cross-section shows the region's dependence on westerly winds from the Mediterranean. Moist clouds hit the mountain ridge, rise, cool, and precipitate over western slopes. Passing the peak creates a severe rain shadow. 12 miles east, moisture drops to zero, turning Jericho into arid desert. This sharp west-to-east rainfall gradient forced population centers to cluster strictly along the mountain ridge. When this predictable weather pattern failed, it triggered the Humsin, or Sharav. This occurred when prevailing winds reversed, pulling 130-degree desert heat from the east. These scorching winds carry choking dust and rapidly wither agricultural crops. This photograph shows a modern Humsin over Jerusalem, demonstrating how suspended dust can completely obscure the atmosphere and sun. Physical survival in the Levant was a constant oscillation between maritime blessing and sudden desert devastation. This meteorological instability created a profound agricultural contrast between the Levant and its imperial neighbors. Egypt and Mesopotamia were built on massive, predictable river floodplains. This archival image of the Nile floodplain shows the scale of the irrigation systems that provided these empires with a reliable food supply. In contrast, the Levant depended entirely on unpredictable seasonal rains, the early rains for planting and the latter rains for the harvest. This vulnerability is central to the concept of the testing ground of faith in Deuteronomy 11, where rain is linked to covenant obedience. Survival rested on the successful cultivation of 3 primary crops: grain, new wine, and olive oil. Producing these staples required intensive manual labor and specific adaptations to the rocky, terraced hillsides of the Central Ridge. The theological link between rain and obedience was a direct reflection of an agricultural system that depended entirely on unpredictable seasons. To verify the details of this playing board, historians look to the evidence found in the archaeological record. The epigraphic record contains texts found outside the Bible that corroborate the region's ancient geography. The Amarna letters, seen here in cuneiform, show Canaanite cities reporting their specific geographic and military vulnerabilities to the Egyptian pharaohs. We also find Egyptian execration texts, clay objects inscribed with curses against specific geographic enemies in the Levant. The locations mentioned in these Egyptian records align with the boundary lists found in the Book of Joshua. Invading empires also left monumental steles at major geographical choke points. This monument from Shalmaneser III provides physical evidence of Mesopotamian influence, depicting a northern Israelite king paying tribute. In the north, the Tal Dan stele was discovered at a critical military choke point, recording an Aramaean king's incursion. This fragment contains a Paleo-Hebrew inscription referencing the House of David, providing a material anchor for the biblical geopolitical landscape. Historians use toponymy to track the continuity of place names from ancient Hebrew to modern Arabic, accurately pinning these texts to physical locations. From stone monuments to clay tablets, the archaeological record consistently places these narratives within a verifiable geographic framework. By combining geopolitical barriers, topographical constraints, and meteorological patterns, we can see the Levant as a single, unified system. This land between was a high-pressure intersection for the ancient world's greatest empires. Within that intersection, survival was determined by a precarious and unpredictable climate. Analyzing these physical constraints is a necessary step in understanding the historical and textual record of the region. The land served as a podium, projecting local culture outward while simultaneously absorbing the pressures of surrounding powers. Ultimately, the physical terrain shaped the history, the survival, and the theological worldview of ancient Israel.